Welcome to Smooth English. Hello, my beautiful learners. Today, I have a very special story for you. It's about a girl who leaves her country and her parents to study abroad. So, sit down, relax, and let's begin the story. Chapter 1, A Dream Begins. Amina stood in front of the airport with her small suitcase. She looked up at the sky and took a deep breath. Her heart was beating fast. She was only 19 years old, and for the first time in her life, she was leaving her family. Her mother hugged her tightly. "My sweet girl, take care of yourself," her mother whispered. "I will, Mama," Amina said, trying not to cry. Her father put his hands on her shoulders. "You are strong, Amina. Go and make us proud." Amina nodded. She smiled, but her eyes were full of tears. She was going to Canada to study computer science. She had received a small scholarship. Her parents had sold their old car to help pay the rest of her fees. They believed in her. She didn't want to disappoint them. At the airport gate, Amina turned around one last time. Her parents were waving. Her little brother, Sammy, was crying. Amina smiled and waved back. Then, she walked into her new life. The flight was long and quiet. Amina couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about her family. She also thought about the life she was going to live in Canada. She had never seen snow. She didn't know anyone there. But she was not afraid. "I will study hard," she whispered to herself. "I will be the best student." When she landed, everything felt different. The air was cold. People were speaking fast English. She felt small, like a child in a big world. Amina arrived at her university. The campus was beautiful. Her dorm room was small but clean. She shared it with another girl from India, named Priya. Priya was kind. She showed Amina where to buy food, how to take the bus, and how to find the library. "I was also scared when I first came here," Priya said. "It gets better. Just give it time." Amina started her classes. Everything was new. The teacher spoke fast. Sometimes, she didn't understand. But she always asked questions. She stayed in the library until late. She studied hard. Her first video call home was emotional. Her mother asked, "Are you eating well?" "Yes, Mama," Amina said. "And I learned how to cook rice." Her father smiled. "Good. And how are your classes?" "Difficult. But I will not give up." "We believe in you," her parents said together. That call gave Amina energy. She started making new friends. She joined the coding club. She even helped other students with their math homework. Life was good. It wasn't easy, but Amina felt happy. She was doing what she loved. One night, she sat by the window in her dorm. Snow was falling. She smiled. "This is the life I dreamed of," she thought. She didn't know that everything would soon change. Chapter 2, A New Life in a New Country. Winter in Canada was cold, but Amina was getting used to it. She bought a warm jacket, thick socks, and gloves. Her roommate, Priya, taught her how to walk on ice without falling. They laughed a lot together. At school, things were going well. Amina passed all her first exams. Her professors liked her. She always sat in front of the class and took notes. She joined a study group with 3 other students, Sarah from Canada, Tom from the UK, and May from China. They helped each other with homework. Sometimes, they studied at the cafe near campus. It became Amina's favorite place. She also started volunteering at the library on weekends. She wanted to practice her English and meet more people. There, she helped students find books and use the computers. One of the librarians, Mrs. Johnson, was kind to Amina. you're always smiling, she told her. Amina replied, smiling helps me stay strong. Every Sunday, Amina called her family. Sometimes the internet was slow, but she didn't mind. Just hearing her mother's voice made her feel better. Her father always asked, "Are you still number one in your class?" She laughed and said, "I'm trying, Baba." Her little brother, Sammy, showed her drawings he made at school. "I miss you, Amina," he said every time. "I miss you too, little one," she always replied. Amina was learning more than just computer science. She was learning how to be independent. She cooked her own food. She cleaned her room. She managed her time. And slowly, her English was getting better. But she was also learning something else: life abroad is not always easy. Sometimes, she felt lonely. She missed the smell of her mother's cooking. She missed the sound of her family talking and laughing. In Canada, people were kind, but everyone was busy. At night, when she lay in bed, she sometimes cried quietly. She didn't want Priya to hear. But deep down, she knew these feelings were normal. She told herself, "I am here for a reason. I want to build a better future. I want to help my family." These words became her daily motivation. After her first year, Amina had good grades. She was happy. But then, bad news came. During the summer, her father lost his job. He worked in a factory, and it closed. He called Amina with tears in his eyes. "I'm sorry, my daughter. We cannot send you money for now." Amina didn't speak for a moment. Then she said, "Don't worry, Baba. I will manage. You need to take care of yourself." That night, Amina sat alone and thought. Her savings were small. Her scholarship only paid part of her school fees. She needed to find a job. The next day, she went to the student office. "Can I work part-time?" she asked. "Yes," the woman replied, "but not more than 20 hours a week during school." Amina started looking. She went from cafe to cafe. Some said no. Some said they would call her. Finally, a small pizza restaurant gave her a job. She became a waitress. The pay was low, but it helped. She worked 4 hours every evening after class. Then, she returned to her dorm and studied. She was tired, but she didn't stop. But soon, it wasn't enough. The rent, books, food, transport, it all cost more than she earned. So Amina found a second job, cleaning offices early in the morning. She woke up at 5 a.m., cleaned for 2 hours, then went to class. After class, she worked at the pizza place. At night, she studied. She slept only 4 or 5 hours. She didn't tell her parents. She didn't want them to worry. One day, Priya looked at her and said, "Amina, you look so tired. Are you okay?" Amina smiled weakly. "Just busy, that's all." But inside, she was exhausted. She felt like a machine. Still, she pushed forward. She remembered her father's words. "You are strong. Go and make us proud." And she remembered her mother's hug. Her brother's drawings. Her dream of becoming an engineer. She couldn't give up. One weekend, she passed out while working. Her manager called the ambulance. At the hospital, the doctor said, "You need to rest. You're working too much." Amina cried. She didn't know what to do. She had no choice. She needed the money. But she also needed her health. The doctor suggested speaking to the university. Maybe they could help. So Amina made an appointment with the financial aid office. She explained everything. They listened carefully. A week later, she received a letter. The university gave her a small emergency grant. It was not a lot, but it helped. Amina decided to stop one of her jobs. She kept the cleaning job in the morning and focused more on her studies. Her health slowly improved. Her grades stayed strong. She was still tired, but not broken. She had learned something important. It's okay to ask for help. Chapter 3, When Things Fall Apart. Amina sat in the library, staring at her notebook. Her eyes were open, but her mind was far away. She was tired, so tired that even reading a short paragraph felt heavy. It was the middle of her second year. Winter had come again. The days were short, and the nights were long. She still worked as a cleaner in the mornings. She went to class during the day. And she studied at night. But now, new problems were coming. One morning, Amina checked her school email. There was a message from the university finance department. Dear Amina, your tuition payment is late. Please pay the remaining balance by the end of the month to continue your studies. Amina's heart dropped. She had used all her savings for food and rent. Her parents still couldn't send money. Her father now worked part-time, and her mother had started selling homemade food, but it wasn't enough. Amina stared at the screen. Her fingers shook. What should I do now? She whispered. She walked outside, but she didn't feel the cold. Her mind was too full. She thought about quitting. Going back home. Maybe it was too hard. But then, she remembered her mother's voice. You are our hope, Amina. You are our future. No. She couldn't stop now. That evening, she sat with Priya and told her everything. I can't pay the fees. I'm scared they'll kick me out. Priya listened quietly. Then she said, I know someone who works at a hotel. They need staff on weekends. Amina's eyes widened. But I already have a job. I know, said Priya. But maybe just for a few months. Just until you pay the fee. Amina thought for a long time. She didn't want to, but she needed the money. So she took the hotel job. Now, Amina worked 3 jobs. Early morning cleaning. Weekend hotel shifts. And studying full-time. On Saturday and Sunday, she worked 10 hours a day at the hotel. She cleaned rooms, changed bedsheets, and carried heavy towels. Her hands were dry and rough from the cleaning chemicals. Her back hurt. Her legs hurt. Her heart hurt. But she kept going. She had no social life. No rest. No fun. She said no to birthday invitations. No to study group dinners. No to weekend calls with her family. She didn't want them to hear how tired she was. Sometimes, she sat alone at the bus stop and cried. No one noticed. Everyone was busy in their own world. She felt invisible. Like a ghost. In her mind, she began asking questions. Why is life so hard? Why do I have to suffer so much just to study? Is this dream really worth it? But after every question came the same answer. Because I have a purpose. She thought of her little brother. She thought of her parents. She thought of the girl who stood at the airport with hope in her eyes. I can't give up now, she said. One night, she returned from the hotel at midnight. She opened her email and saw something new. Subject, congratulations. You've been accepted for a research assistant position. Amina gasped. She had applied months ago, but she didn't think she'd be chosen. It was a paid position to help a professor with data work. It paid more than both her cleaning and hotel jobs together. And it was related to her field of study. She jumped from her chair. Tears ran down her cheeks, not from sadness this time, but from hope. She ran to Priya's room. I got the assistant job, she shouted. Priya smiled and hugged her. You deserve it, Amina. I'm so proud of you. The next day, Amina gave her notice to the hotel and cleaning company. She kept only the assistant job. Now, she could work fewer hours, get better pay, and have time to rest and study. She felt like she could breathe again. She slept longer. She started smiling again. She laughed again. But most importantly, she began to feel like herself again. Amina still struggled. She still missed home. She still had moments of fear and doubt. But she had made it through the darkest part. She had faced hunger, loneliness, and pain. But she was still standing. She was stronger than she thought. Chapter 4, 3 Jobs, 1 Goal. The first day at her new job was quiet. Amina walked into the university's research office, nervous but excited. She met Professor Green, a tall woman with glasses and a calm voice. "Welcome, Amina. I read your application. You seem very dedicated," she said. "Thank you," Amina replied. "I will do my best." Her task was to help organize data, write reports, and check statistics for a research project about student learning. She was paid fairly, and the hours were flexible. She could work between classes and sometimes from her dorm. For the first time in many months, Amina felt like she could breathe again. She no longer had to wake up at 5 a.m. to clean offices. She no longer worked long shifts on weekends. She finally had time to rest and focus. One afternoon, after finishing her research work, Amina sat in the library and looked at her study schedule. She had space. She had energy. She could read, understand, and learn without stress. And she began to do something she hadn't done in a long time: help others again. She joined a student support group that helped new international students adjust to life in Canada. She shared her story, her struggles, and her solutions. One girl from Nigeria said, "I feel so alone here." Amina smiled kindly and replied, "I felt the same. You're not alone. You are strong. You just need to keep going." Her words gave the girl hope. Amina realized something important. Her pain was now helping others. She also restarted video calls with her family. This time, she looked happier. Her cheeks were no longer pale. Her eyes were full of life again. Her mother noticed. "You look strong, my daughter," she said. "I feel stronger, Mama," Amina replied. Her father looked proud. "You're almost at the finish line, Amina." "Yes, Baba. Just one more year." Her brother Sammy shouted from behind the camera. "I drew another picture for you." Amina laughed. Even in a cold country, thousands of kilometers away, she felt warm again. But life didn't become perfect. Some days were still hard. Winter was long. Money was still tight. Sometimes she opened the fridge and found only eggs and rice. Sometimes she walked to school in heavy snow, her feet freezing. Sometimes she missed birthdays, holidays, and hugs. But now, Amina had something stronger than fear: discipline and clarity. Her goal was clear. Graduate with good grades. Find a good job. Help her family. Make her parents proud. That goal gave her energy every morning. She stuck notes on her wall. "You are doing this for your future. They believe in you. Don't stop now." One evening, she sat with Priya in the dorm kitchen. They made tea and talked about life. "I was scared I wouldn't make it," Amina admitted. "You did make it," Priya replied. "But I had to work 3 jobs," Amina said. "Yes," Priya smiled, "and look how far you've come." They sat quietly. Outside, snow was falling again. Inside, everything felt peaceful. Amina now had a new idea. After graduation, she wanted to create something. A small website that supports international students. She started planning it with her programming skills. She knew how lonely and hard it could be. She wanted to be the voice that says, "You're not alone." One day, her professor gave her an unexpected gift. "Amina," she said, "you've been a great research assistant. I'd like to recommend you for a paid internship next summer." Amina's mouth opened wide. "Really? Thank you. You deserve it," Professor Green said. "You've worked harder than anyone I know." It was a paid internship in a big tech company. It could open doors to her future. Amina walked back to her dorm that day with joy in her heart. She stopped under a tree covered in snow and looked up. She remembered the girl who arrived in this country, scared, alone, and quiet. Now, she was strong. She was still afraid sometimes, but fear no longer controlled her. She whispered to herself. "You made it, Amina. You didn't give up." Chapter 5, A Letter to Her Parents. It was a quiet Sunday morning. The campus was empty because of the winter holidays. Most students had gone home to be with their families. But Amina stayed behind. She didn't have the money to travel, and she didn't want her family to worry about the cost. She sat at her small desk, wearing a sweater her mother had made for her. Outside the window, snow covered the trees. The world looked calm. Amina opened her notebook. She took her pen and started to write. "Dear Mama and Baba. I don't know where to begin. So much has happened since I left home. When I first arrived here, everything felt big, cold, and strange. I missed your voices. I missed Sammy's little jokes. Sometimes, I cried at night. But I never wanted you to know. My first year was good. I studied hard. I made friends. I learned how to take care of myself. I was proud to call you every week and tell you I was doing fine. But then, things changed. When Baba lost his job, I felt afraid. I didn't tell you, but I was scared I'd have to leave school. There was no money for rent or food. I didn't want to be a burden. So, I found a job. Then another. Then a third. I worked early mornings, late nights, and weekends. I walked in snow with wet shoes. I cleaned bathrooms and served pizza until midnight. Sometimes, I felt empty. I was hungry and tired. I lost weight. I lost sleep. But I never lost my why. That why was you. I remembered the day at the airport. Mama, your hug stayed with me on every hard day. Baba, your words kept me going when I wanted to quit. Sammy, your drawings gave me light when everything felt dark. I didn't want to tell you how hard it was. I didn't want to make you feel sad. I wanted you to feel proud. But now, I think it's time to tell the truth. Because I'm not ashamed of the struggle. I'm proud of it. This journey made me stronger. I learned how to fight. I learned how to survive. I learned how to grow. And I want you to know, I never forgot you. Now, things are better. I got a good job as a research assistant. I'm learning so much. I'm building my future. My professor helped me find an internship. It will start next summer. It's a big opportunity. It means I'm one step closer to a real career. I'm still working hard. But now I can also rest. I eat well. I sleep better. I smile more. I want to tell you something important. Thank you. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for selling your car to help me come here. Thank you for trusting me to carry the weight of our dreams. Every day, I think of the sacrifices you made. Every day, I carry your love in my heart. One more thing. I promise you, Mama and Baba. I will finish this journey. I will get my degree. I will find a good job. And one day, I will take care of you, just like you took care of me. That is my mission. That is my dream. And I will not stop until it comes true. With all my love. Your daughter, Amina. Amina finished writing the letter. She wiped her eyes. She folded the paper and placed it in an envelope. She would send it tomorrow. But in her heart, something had already changed. She felt lighter. She felt proud. She was no longer just a student in a foreign country. She was a fighter. A survivor. A daughter with a mission. And she knew that whatever came next, she was ready. Now, take a deep breath. This was the story of Amina. But this is also the story of many students around the world. Maybe it is your story too. Maybe you feel tired. Maybe you feel alone. Maybe you are working hard and no one sees it. But I see you. And I want you to remember this. You are stronger than you think. Keep going. Don't give up. Your story is not finished yet. Thank you for watching Smooth English. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. And leave a comment, tell me how this story made you feel. You are not alone.